When you start healing from a narcissistic or emotionally dysfunctional family system, especially when you've been in roles like the scapegoat child or the golden child, something really important starts to shift. And it's not just that you understand your past differently, it's that you start responding differently in real time. Because most people think healing is just about insight. But in reality, it's about what changes in the moment your old patterns try to take over. So, let me break down what actually starts to change when you finally begin healing these family system patterns. One, you start catching the scapegoat or people pleasing response in real time. Before, something would happen and you would instantly go into over explaining or self blame or shutting down or trying to fix the situation. But now there's a small pause, even if it's just a second. And in that pause, you notice this is that old role again. That role made you feel responsible for everything. And this is exactly the moment where things start to shift. Because instead of just understanding the pattern later, you start to interrupt it while it's happening. It's also why I often share the tools like my free guide, because it's designed specifically for this moment. When you notice the pattern starting in real time, but you don't know yet how to stop it. Two, you automatically stop assigning meaning through the old family system lens. So instead of interpreting every tone, every shift, every silence, or emotional reaction as I did something wrong, you start to question it. You start to separate, is this actually about me? Or is this my nervous system reacting like it used to in that environment? And in those early moments of noticing this, you might still slip into old reactions like freezing or shutting down in conversations. That's a really common freeze response pattern, especially if conflict used to feel unsafe. And when that happens, it's not a mindset issue, it's a nervous system issue. That's also why I created something specifically for those moments, because sometimes you're not looking for insight, you're just trying to find words when your body goes blank. Three, your relationships start to feel different because your responses change. Not because other people suddenly change, but because you stop over functioning in the same way. You don't immediately over explain. You don't immediately fix things. You don't immediately shrink yourself to keep the peace. And at first, this feels uncomfortable because your system is used to survival through adaptation. And this is also where a lot of people start realizing how automatic their old patterns were, especially the I need to fix this immediately response or the let me make sure they're okay response. Four, you start realizing that boundaries are not rejection or conflict. In these family systems, especially as the scapegoat or the golden child, boundaries felt unsafe or like punishment. So even small boundaries used to feel wrong. But as you heal, you start seeing boundaries as clarity, not aggression, not disrespect, just clarity. And what surprises most people is that the more you practice this, the less anxious you will feel afterwards because you're no longer carrying the emotional responsibility that was never yours. Five, you begin rebuilding your identity outside of the roles. And this is one of the biggest shifts because for a long time, you weren't just you were the problem, or the good one, or the responsible one, or the emotional stabilizer. But now you start asking different questions like, what do I actually feel? What do I actually want? How do I actually want to show up in relationships without a role being attached to it? And this part can feel unfamiliar at first because you're not reacting from an identity anymore. Now you're building it. I want to be really clear with you. This doesn't just happen from understanding the patterns. You can intellectually understand narcissistic family dynamics and still react from them in real time because these are nervous system responses, not just thoughts. And that's why so much of this work becomes about what you do in the moment, not just what you understand afterwards. Because even awareness alone doesn't stop the automatic reactions yet. And I want to end this series with this. Healing from a narcissistic or emotionally dysfunctional family system isn't about becoming someone new. It's about slowly becoming someone who no longer abandons or shrinks themselves in the moments where they used to survive by doing that. If this series resonated with you, you're not alone in this. If you want more content like this, you can subscribe because I go deeper into these patterns and how they show up in real life. I want to ask you something. Comment below which part of this entire series felt the most familiar for you. I read every single comment and they also let me know what to dive deeper into next. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.